Hello. Hi. 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 How are you? How are you? I'm going to be making a blaster today. Well, trying to. I don't know whether to design it first or just start cutting out cardboard. I want to make it something like that, which is the NN14. That's Ray's blaster from The Force Awakens. I really like the shape of it. So I don't want to make that specifically, but I want it to have that general shape. So, let's just better start off with some cardboard. Of which I have some here, which need cutting down. Or at least I would, if it had cut straight. Yeah, whatever. Put that there. Try not to put my arm up. Alright. Hi, Dino Nuggetsaurus. How's you? Thank you for tuning in. I'm just cutting some cardboard down at the moment. You probably saw me struggling. That doesn't seem to want to stay fastened, which is annoying me. Hi! I think Dino Nuggetsaurus is already gone. Right. So, I need the general shape. Draw around the handle. This. The general shape. Ignoring the trigger, because it's not going to have a functioning trigger. Right, that just gives me the general shape of a blaster. Oh, you're playing with it. Well, be careful playing with a katana. Don't talk to me while you're playing with a katana. That's got bad news written all over it. That's So it wants to look a little bit like that, but not entirely like that. But that is the shape I'm going for generally. So I'll draw that in Sharpie so you can see what I'm going for. Right, that's the handle. So then if I make it come around to about there, and then bring it down. What am I building? I'm building a blaster, a space blaster, a sci-fi blaster, put out of cardboard from scratch. So I'm just figuring out the shape that I want it at the moment. Bring that down a bit sharper. Yeah, kind of like something off from Star Wars, something like that. That come up there. Try and get my ruler. Like that. And then the barrel on the end. Maybe even two barrels. Then have a small barrel underneath, I think. Does the other one have a smaller barrel? It's kind of reminiscent of Ray's blaster, that one, the NN14. That's the general shape that I like. So it's kind of reminiscent of that. Yeah, it's a cool blaster, isn't it? It's one of the more interesting shapes, I think. I don't know if it's modelled after an actual gun. I don't think I'll have a trigger well, I'll just have a trigger. Like that. Probably a little sight on it there, another one at the back there, and then it'll have some kind of shenanigans going on here, like paneling, stuff like that, and a grip. I'll probably put holes in the barrel because I like that. Only in the top one though, not the bottom one. So that's the general shape I'm going for. So I'll cut that out. I'll join that side up with the front of this edge. So it just goes straight up and then down. I don't think it's too much of a complicated shape, so it should be easy to work with. There's not going to be any intricate curves and stuff like that I need to work around. Let me know what your favourite sci-fi blaster is, if you have one, if you've ever even thought about it, if you've ever made one. I think this is the only curve that's going to mess me up. I won't cut the trigger out because that'll be adapted as I need to fit my finger to it. Going out this handle shape a bunch of times is not going to be fun. But I might use some of my rubber drying clay as the grip to make it soft. So that will help pad it out quite a lot. So I shouldn't need to cut that much out of cardboard for the handle, the grip rather. I mean, the shape might evolve as I start bulking it out. Nearly there. Go around the site. Right, let's see how easy that comes out. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, so that's my. Oh, have you made one? Or are you just saying it would be? Oh, you broke it. Playing with it a bit too rigorously, were we? Or did it fall off somewhere? That's a pretty good size, right? That's a pretty good size for my hand. Okay. Right. So, this, I think, back to that cam, this bit is going to be thicker than this bit. So it's going to, as you're looking down it that way, this will be wider than this, but not by much. So if I break it down into shapes, like this square, and then that, and then I'm going to use my rubber drying clay to make the grip. And I'll use some kind of bottle or container to make the barrels. I'm sure I've got something thin enough in my greebly drawer. So if I make that shape a bunch of times, I'll go from there. Seeing as I've already got a straight cut. That there. So if we go from there to there. Draw that out so you can see it. I can even barely see that. But is that a square? It's probably on a bit of a diagonal. That, right. I'll cut that out and see how well that fits, and then I can trace that and cut it out a bunch of times. Must remember to cut on the outside of the marker lines, otherwise it's going to be too thin. I might even need to adjust it so it fits. Right, that should be that shape. Hey! Dino Nuggets has followed. Thank you very much, Dino Nuggets. Right, that's that shape. More or less fits that there. So if I, how thick is my glue gun? About 3.5 centimeters, and that's a pretty good width for a blaster. So if I go for 3.5 centimeters, which is just over an inch. No, it's not. It's about 1.5 inches. Call it 1 1/3 inches. 1.3 inches. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't work in inches. I'm not of that generation, or I think maybe builders work in inches all over the world. I'm not sure. I work in centimeters and millimeters myself. Yeah, right. That fits that shape. So I'm going for 3.5 centimeters width at that point. Can I get one out of there? No, it's just cutting off the edge. All right. Alrighty. I've got a rip there, so I'll draw around that. Yeah. Centimeters and millimeters are much easier and much more precise, I feel. Because when people start talking about 300ths of an inch, and it's like, what even is that? That means nothing to me. 300ths of an inch, or whatever it is, like that kind of thing. It's like, nah. I can't visualize that kind of measurement at all. Not even a little bit. I mean, all credit to people who can, but it's not for me. Can't even see that. Draw on the cardboard, not on the ruler. That's generally a good rule. I need to be drawing on the inside of the marker line this time. Well, on that top one anyway. All these shapes are going to be a completely different size. I should have measured it really and cut it precisely, but I haven't. There's still time for me to do that. If this one's bigger than that one, I'll just trim it down. No big deal, is it? No biggie. Alright. Are you gonna pop out? Or are you gonna give me trouble, aren't you? Yep. You're gonna give me trouble. Get off. Right. Do you fit? More or less. I've not done a bad job of making that the exact same shape. Well, okay. I haven't even got any thicker card that I can use to pad it out with. I could maybe use polystyrene, but then it'd be too light. I need the weight, really. I need the weight, man. I need the weight. If I do that upside down, then that line should be the same size as that line. And it is. So now I need to remember to cut on the inside of the marker line. Otherwise it'll be too wide. Come on. Come on. I might have done this a little too thin. Come on. No. Come on. Thank you. All right. Oh, wow, that's much bigger. Oh, dear. Did that upside down, didn't I? So that needs to fit that way. They're getting slightly bigger each time. Like that. And like that. All right. Anyway, they'll go on there. So 3.5 centimeters. So I'm going to need maybe 10 more of those. But I won't bore you with that. Just me cutting out 10 of those. So I'll move on to, excuse me. I'll work on the grip, because for that I can use this stuff, which I wasn't a fan of at first, but then I started making my my mimic with it, and it dries like rubber, squidgy. So if I do that, if I use this for the grip, it'll make it soft and it'll bulk it out without having to cut out a bunch of cardboard. And then I can wrap it maybe in some kind of leather, possibly, something like that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that bit. There we go. You can see that shape better now. Feels like, the only way I can describe it is it feels like a deflated balloon. But it molds just like clay or plasticine, and then it dries like rubber. So it's pretty cool, and it was really cheap. It's supposed to be for kids, but If it works, right? So the grip is about that big. So I squeeze that down into the general shape. That's on either side. That's gonna be about the same size as my glue gun handle, which is pretty sweet. Right, so now I need to build up. I don't want to squash it anymore because then it won't have the width. So I need to build out the shape with some extra bits. And it sticks to itself really, really well, like almost too well. So it's a hindrance in some cases, but a blessing in others. We're just building out the shape of the handle. I hope you can see that. It's not perfectly round, so I'm trying to make the actual shape. I know my cameras aren't the best. I'm working with the bare bones of equipment. Trying to find all the gaps in there. Trying to fill in all these gaps between the main piece and the cardboard. It doesn't have to be like smooth or anything because I can come in later and put like a whole layer around the entire thing, and then that'll give it the smooth appearance. I'm just trying to get the actual shape of the entire handle. Laying this down in there. Then I can use this, poke it down with. Like that. Press that down to there so it meets the cardboard. Ding dong. Someone is at the back door. Can't answer it though. There we go, just filling out that shape. Put a little bit in there. There we are, just filled out that shape. And then I need to do the same on the opposite side, and that should be about the right width for my hand. There we go. That was pretty quick and painless. Spread it out a little bit. Make it not so lumpy bumpy on the edges. Because if there's any bumps now, they'll only get more exaggerated with each layer I put on top of it. Like the Princess and the Pea, if you've ever heard that. There we go. So now I need to try and get the same on the other side. But how am I going to turn it over without squashing this one? That's the question. I might just have to deal with it, to be fair. I'm going for 42 minutes already. Right. I can get the general size and shape. And then transfer over where I need it to come to. Which is there. There, maybe? Right, I need to squash this down without squashing the other side. Somehow. It might just have to get squashed. Squash. In fact, I can probably squash it a bit on there. Try and make it the same length and width. Don't want too many discrepancies. Then I can just bulk out the shape like I did the opposite side. So that's basically the size of my blaster handle. You know, it's leaning to one side a little bit. And that feels good in the hand. Got good. Oh, I can even get my my fingerprints in it. That'd be sweet. Some grips have that, don't they? Finger lines. Might try and keep those. Right. Pad out the sides. There we go. Smooth that down to the size of the cardboard. If I can't fit that in, that might be too much. Need to try and fit this in that little bit right there. And then make it the actual shape of the piece. And send this around the bottom. Like that. Fill in that gap. that bit off. Don't need that. Shove that in there. That comes up a bit further. And we've got just a very thin one down this line. Or do I cover up the cardboard? I feel like I should leave the seam. I think I should probably cover it up on the inside. That's more or less the same on both sides. Roll it out a bit. Flatten it out on that side. There we go. That's a good size handle. I think I should probably cover up the cardboard. Well, I'll do, and it's going to have a wrap on it, so I'll take care of that. There we go. I could do with a stand really, so that can dry. I'll squash that in. Push it around. Pinch it at the top. It looks like it's actually two sides of the same thing. There. Right. Helping hands. Come here. Hold that there. For me. There we go. Put this bit away. Right. That is actually too big. Stop trying to unfasten yourself. They're the same size. This one is very much not the same size. At all. What even happened there? Not the same size, it's not the same shape. It's an abomination. Suppose that's what I get for not measuring. There. There. More or less. And that's probably fine. Goes over there. Right. Oh man. Come on. Off you come. There we go. It's probably because I keep doing it in marker and it gives me a thicker line. and then I cut out bigger shapes. That's probably mistake number one. Mistake number one was not measuring it. Mistake number two, using a Sharpie. That one actually fits rather nicely. Probably because I didn't use a marker pen. Which way around are you supposed to go? I can sand all these down after I've cut them all out and make them so they're actually the right size rather than just more or less. I'll use that one. Get one more out of this piece. Some of these have got to be the wrong way around. Like you're supposed to be that way around. You're supposed to be that way around. I think you're supposed to be that way around. Who knows what you are? And you're supposed to be that way. So these should all be the same shape. More or less. Once I've sanded them, they will be. Now, is that just going to be one side? It was 3.5 centimeters, wasn't it? That. And that's nearly 1.5. So I need to make 3 more for one side. So I'll make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said 10. Right at the beginning, I said 10. Wow. Funny how that works out. Right, where's a good one? There. Use that one. Welcome, anyone who may be watching. I'm currently making a sci-fi blaster out of cardboard and rubber drying clay, which I didn't think I'd be using today, but there you are. She used it for the grip. Don't move. Okay, you should fit there or thereabouts. Next, you're going to fit in there. Might have a, yeah, I've got a cut there, so I can't use that bit. Can I use that bit? Just. Always good rule of thumb to make sure you've got the blade the right way around before you start cutting things. You'll do. You'll do. Can I get one out of that? Yes. Yes, I can. Oops. I should probably be gluing these together as I go so I know I've got the right width. Not that there is a right width, because it's my design, but you know, it's always probably best to stick to a plan, I suppose. Not that I particularly do half the time. Right. How are we looking? Take you off there. That's the shape of my gun so far. My blaster, I should say, rather. Use rubber drying clay for the grip. So it'll be soft. And also it saved me cutting out a bunch of cardboard and then having to trim it to shape. So this is this front shape here. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, I need at least 12, don't I? That side. And then these that side. That's what width we're talking. I reckon that might be about right. This side needs one more, I think. And that might be a good width. So you hold that there for me. Not sure I've put all those in the correct orientation. They seem to be getting less and less the right shape as I cut them out. They're getting more square. I think that one's probably nearer to what I need. I might even use some more clay around the edges of it to smooth it off. Right, that is 12. Now it's finding the right orientation for them all. Some of them are more square than others. But that looks like the same shape. That looks like The same shape. Wait, no. That one. That one's slanting that way. That one's slanting that way. That one's slanting that way. That way. Making me cross-eyed that way. That's practically square, that one. What has gone on with some of these? How are they so far out of whack? I'll put them in the middle. These are supposed to be the same shape. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. 12 of these things are not like the others. What? Right, I'm going to glue them all together and then sand them down. I think. Right, you're definitely the same shape as each other. One of you is not the same as the other. How? How are you so much bigger than the rest? You two are definitely the same. More. Not. I'm an absolute mare here. That one's tiny. I don't know how they've gone so far wrong. But there is a lot of discrepancies. Like a lot. The actual state of that. They're all supposed to be the same size. I mean, that it's these ones here. They're bigger than the rest. These ones all match up. Kind of. More or less. And then these three. So much bigger than that one. How? How has that happened? How has that? Oops. How has that happened? That should be a straight edge. I don't get it. And then slipping like that doesn't help. Right, you're all getting glued, whether you like it or not. Glue stick. Wait for that to warm up. Feels good in the hand, at least. You hold that there. And these are going to make up the main body. This bit, that's going to bulk out this bit either side. Six on either side. So if I glue batches of 6 together and then sand them so they're all the same size, and then stick 1 pack on this side, 1 pack on that side, and that should look cool. should look cool. What do you reckon? How do you reckon it's going to turn out? Probably horrible. Props. For anyone who didn't see, I made a mimic from Dungeons and Dragons last week using the same. Well, I used a shop bought treasure chest, little cheap wooden treasure chest, and then I made it out of rubber drying clay. This is all soft. This is all soft. These are all soft. So yeah, looking all right so far. I need to do the finer details on it yet, but I just got a bit bored of this particular project. So I put it to one side to make a blaster for a couple of days, and then I'll probably do the finer details on that. And then I've got a Ghostbusters Proton Pack to get back to. I haven't finished. I need to finish the goggles. I made my Ecto goggles. Need to do the finer details on those. Are you warmed up yet? Probably not. I've got a BD droid down there that I made as well on stream. That was the first project I did on my channel. If you want to see that, leave it in the chat and I'll pick him up. He's pretty big, about that big. Are you warm yet? Let's get a batch of 6 going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should leave 6. Yes. Oh. There he is. He's pretty big. Thanks. Thanks very much. What? I'll do 2 at a time and then glue all the 2s together. Why are you facing the wrong way? Better. tell. Possibly that way. There we go. That's just a solid piece of cardboard now. One. Sorry, I just realised you can't see what I'm doing. Not on the main cam anyway. I'm just gluing the bits of card together. Nothing interesting. You weren't missing anything. So now I can glue all these together. Make sure all the edges are touching. The glue stick already? You're having a laugh, ain't you? Right, where do I put my glue sticks? No. Anybody seen a glue stick? There we go. Right, that should be both sides of the blaster. If I stick these on, I should be able to fill out the gaps with some clay or sand any peaks off. That's the plan anyway. Move you to one side over there, please. Thank you. Right. You should fit on there, and you do. So that's, well, mainly. I've got quite a serious overhang going on there. Unless it goes that way around, which is entirely possible. Yeah, it did do that. So there is an overhang, but there is some troughs that I'm going to need to fill in, which is fine. Filling in's always easier than taking off because you can always add more, but if you take off too much, then it's a harder job to put it back. Right. So if I glue that to there, I'm probably asking for trouble. Props. It'd be easier if I glued this and then put it down. Like that. Bosh. Like that. Okay. And then that should be that way around, I think. Seems to fit. So if I do that, and then do that, bosh, like so. And then squeeze that on. Like that. That's the main bulk of the blaster body. Just some, have to work on it a little bit to get it all smooth. But anyway, then these are not staying. I'll just find something cylindrical, cut these off, and then cut a round hole in this bit and slot whatever cylinder I find into it. So now I need to work on this bit. I'm wondering whether to use clay because it's quite an intricate, well, it's not entirely intricate, but it's intricate enough that I don't want to have to cut this out a bunch of times out of cardboard and have it all different shapes like these were, and these were basically just squares. So I might pad all this out with clay. Because it doesn't want to be as thick as this. It wants to be slightly, like maybe two less either side depth. So it's got like a flaring profile almost. But looking down the side of this, gonna need a lot of work. All right, glue gun, chill out. I'll try and do it over here so the microphone doesn't pick you up too much. I'm just going to sand the peaks and then I can fill in the troughs. And I should be wearing a mask really. And my sandpaper is disintegrating. If I go to that cam, you can see better. Right. I've smoothed most of the peaks. So now I need to fill in the troughs. But it's a lot smoother now. And now my lungs are full of cardboard dust. Is it still classed as sawdust if it's cardboard? Or is that just primarily a wood term? Anyway. That'll teach me not to wear a mask. How long have we been going for? An hour and 45 minutes nearly? Gosh. So I'll be continuing this tomorrow, probably the day after. So if you're not following and you would like to keep up with the project, please consider following so you don't miss out. Oops. I've got a big dip there that needs filling in. Smooth that out all the way down. Take off whatever I don't need and stick it somewhere else. Squash it down, smooth it out. Rip out the thing that I was trying to fill. I mean, I can probably cut off the ends now, since I know where they're going. There we go, that's just filling in that gap, making it flush almost. That edge needs a bit of work. Just a thin line. That didn't work. Probably a bit too heavy-handed. There we go. And that can go right down that track. Pinch off that. Push it down into the trough. Try not to pull it back out again. I appear to have a bit of cardboard sticking right out the front. There we go. Then this isn't straight either, so that needs leveling out. The top is more or less fine, just needs building up a little bit along here. Smush that in all the way down there. I'm not sure how well this clay would sand once it's dried. It seems it dries like rubber. I haven't tried, but it'd be important to know. Getting there. Almost level. Where's my tissue? There it is. Excuse me. Maybe I'm allergic to sawdust. Because it's not cold in here. And I get a runny nose every time I'm up here. Pretty much without fail. Oops. There we go. I don't expect I can cut that off easily, seeing as it's not dry yet. No, that's just cutting into the cardboard. So we'll try that when it's dry. But the top is flush. There we are. Okay. I've got quite a serious trough going on there. That needs leveling. Also, kind of does that, like a kind of like an S. It goes trough, peak, trough, smaller peak. It's like it goes from high to low this side, and then from high to low down this way from that side. Just try this. Pardon the noise. Better. Better still. That'll do. That saved me a lot of filling in. And I didn't get any sawdust in the air, which is good. Just got a little bit there that's refusing to level out. Probably too much, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. Push it along into the seams, and then whatever doesn't fill should just come off. It rolls towards the end. go. Quick filling in patch job. Make it flush. So then there's just, this side isn't bad. It's this one that's going to give me trouble. Because that's not flush at all, and I can't get in to sand it properly because of the handle. Now, a proper maker would probably cut off this bit at this point and then figure out a way of attaching it back, like with dowels or something after the fact. Which I should probably do, but I right don't want to. So, you know, on my own head be it, really, I think is the moral of that story. On my little depressor, shove it in all the divots. I mean, I know all the techniques I'm supposed to use, just that I never or rarely put them into practice. I just bumble along, which, you know, is fine. Need a little bit extra on the edge there. That's more or less straight. Then do the other side. Yeah, just there. Lay that down in there. That's it. Squeeze that out towards the end without trying to touch any of this. Even though that's decided to make a nuisance of itself. Trying to keep it level. Kind of. squash it down with this. It would appear so. That's better. That one was basically level anyway. Just got some wibbly edges there that I need to fill in. I've got to fill in a wibbly edge, I'm afraid. The law. There we go. Wibbly edge is no more. Sounds like a place. Wibbly edge. Yeah, the front can use a bit on this side. We're definitely getting there. Now is it 2:05? Need to do the school run soonish. This edge. Needs leveling out. Whoops. Or a big chunk off there then. By accidente. That up. There we go. You'd never know. In fact, I didn't even do anything. Sure. You've gone very wibbly all of a sudden. A little bit in there. Getting quite heavy though. I mean, heavy for cardboard, not heavy for handling. Never mind the wonk. Wow. That's more or less straight now. So I need to let that dry. But feels good. Got a good weight. Once I've padded this out, it'll balance it out a lot more. But so far, so good. And I'm going to call that a day for today. So hopefully, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in, thank you to Dino Nuggetosaurus for following. If you're watching this after the fact, please consider following also. And I've got a YouTube channel where I upload all my VODs after the fact. You can find that at BeardyBuilds on YouTube. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.